The murder trial of a 53-year-old man accused of killing 7 of his relatives at a village near Malamulele in Limpopo on Christmas Day 2 years ago is this morning expected to resume at the High Court in Thohoyandou. Enoch Ndou being tried for the fatal shooting of his 2 nephews, his nephew's wife and 4 children aged between 1 and 12. Our reporter PIMANI Balooy is now joining us to give us more with regards to the story. PIMANI, good morning, and thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Just give us a quick recap with regards to this case and where we currently are.
Good morning, Aldrin, and good morning to our viewers. Aldrin, we're coming to you live from inside Court A in the Thohoyandou High Court, where this trial is set to resume. Aldrin, the trial started in earnest on Monday, where we saw arguments with Mr. Ndou's lawyer trying to argue that he needs to be taken for mental evaluation, stating that Mr. Ndou had a history of schizophrenia, that he was once diagnosed with schizophrenia. Right now, we are in court. And Aldrin, we expect Mr. Ndou to be brought into the dock from those stairs down there where he will be answering for these crimes. But Aldrin, just a little bit of a recap, as you were stating, this is the brutal murder of 7 people, 2 of which were Ndou's nephews, who were his older brother's 2 sons and the wife of one of them, who at the time was heavily pregnant, and 4 children, Aldrin, who were killed here. So today we expect the court on Monday issued a court order taken to the Donald Fraser Hospital here in Louis Trichardt, asking that Mr. Ndou's medical history be given to the court, because his lawyer told court that, you know, Mr. Ndou a while back was admitted at Donald Fraser and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was given treatment for schizophrenia and he took that treatment for years until he relocated to Mahikeng, when he took on a job as an ICU nurse at a hospital in Mahikeng. And that's according to the lawyer. After relocating to Mahikeng, after moving away from Venda, that's when Mr. Ndou realized that, you know, he was in a better mental state and he took the decision to stop taking that medication. And according to the lawyer actually puts it in words that says the stopping of taking that medication and that fatal night where those 7 people were shot and killed were sort of correlated to each other. It was at around the same time where he stopped taking that medication and when that fatal shooting happened. But the justice here did not even want to hear anything, saying if you say he was diagnosed, there should be medical records of that. Did you go to the hospital? Did you go to the doctor that diagnosed him? Bring us the evidence that, you know, he was actually medically found to have a mental condition before the judge said he could even entertain an application to talk about is he mentally fit to stand trial or not. Bring me evidence that historically he was diagnosed. But the lawyer said he struggled to access such documentation, and that's when the judge then issued a court order taking it to the Donald Fraser. So this morning, according to what the judge said, he gave the Donald Fraser Hospital the whole of yesterday and this morning to gather such medical records and to ensure that they are brought to this court today. So today it's either the court receives such medical records and then the court will decide what steps do we then take. Do they approve the application for him to be taken for mental evaluation, or does the trial proceed? But Aldrin, I must state that, you know, this is a matter that involves people who are related. The victims and the family of the accused are actually the same people. So we've seen a lot of family members coming here saying they just want this process to end. They feel this application for mental evaluation is just a delay tactic, saying it's been 2 years already and they are traumatized and they keep getting re-traumatized every time they come to court and seeing Mr. Ndou not fully incarcerated because there isn't a conviction yet on him. So today we expect the judge to either receive that medical report and then make a ruling on whether the evaluation goes ahead or not, or if the trial will start in earnest. Aldrin?
Yeah, and PIMANI, do we know exactly what is in that report from the Donald Fraser Hospital? And with that said as well, What significance would that report have in this trial? And has Mr. Ndou pleaded as yet?
At this point, when we went to the lower court in Malamulele, when he was applying for bail, Mr. Ndou indicated that he intended to plead not guilty to all charges. But in terms of the contents of that report, Aldrin, we don't know at this point in time. But what the lawyer said in this open case is that he has been told by both his client and a sister to the client that he was hospitalized there and that he was treated for schizophrenia. But other things that we had as we moved around that village after that fatal shooting is that people always thought that Mr. Ndou had a history of a mental illness. They just didn't know the name. But the name was given on Monday that, according to the lawyer, that it was termed schizophrenia and that he was under treatment for it and that he did stop that treatment on his own. He voluntarily stopped taking treatment. But the implication, Aldrin, from what the application that the lawyer intended to bring before the judge said bring evidence was that Mr. Ndou cannot be held criminally responsible for any action that he might have taken because he was not in a mental state where he was seen as a reasonable person who could take that action, that he is also not in a state of mind where he is fit to stand trial for this. So we're not sure what that would, the Section 78 of the Criminal Justice Act, which indicates what must happen if somebody is found to be unfit, number one, to stand trial, but also if somebody is found to have not been criminally liable for their action due to their mental state. So at this point, we'll hear what the judge takes, if there is a record of that, and if there will be that evaluation and where that will take the case.